Stephen A. Smith, sports analyst and political commentator. Smith has established a recurring public pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent black women across politics, sports, and media. Such commentary reinforces harmful narratives, undermines the fair and respectful representation of black women in public discourse, and stands in direct conflict with NABJ's long-standing commitment to accurate, responsible, and inclusive portrayals of black communities.
Stephen A. Snitch is pissed off right now. He just received the award from the NABJ, National Black Journalist, man, award, where they really been getting at him, man. Now, y'all know that there's a war going on between the radical right and the radical left. And Stephen A. Smith, who's an ESPN sports commentator, last year he decided to jump in, and earlier this year to jump in and put his nose in the ring. And he's been speaking as a conservative. He's been bringing conservatives on his show. He's been shindigging with them, while at the same time going after the Democrats. A lot of black people don't like that. A lot of powerful black people don't like that. So they've been getting at Stephen A. Snitch for a while, right? Now, we remember what he said about Jasmine Crockett. He talked about her, talking about the president, her attitude and the way that she talks and all that kind of stuff. Now, mind you, I made videos about Jasmine Crockett, but I'm not Stephen A. Snitch, right? Stephen A. Snitch is contracted in with them people, right? And his days is numbered because they coming for him. The Democrats, them powerful Democrats is coming for Stephen A. Smith because they see him as a traitor. Now, after him getting this award, he had a meltdown on his podcast, and he went to respond, man. So this is, the National Association of Black Journalists, right? He is incensed that they would come out and say something like this about him. He can't believe it. All the things I've done for you, I'm putting cases on all you. He mad as hell, right? Check it out.
NABJ did Saturday night or Friday night, whichever night it was. I believe it was Saturday night. It is BS. And I get a lot of people want to pile on and they want to jump on it because you have your own individual feelings about me. I'm here to tell y'all are entitled to that. Not the NABJ. You're not entitled to that. This is me we're talking about here. I am the same guy that brought a nationally televised show to a journalism conference, which is the NABJ, the last 2 years. Did you have anything to say about me then? Did I get a thumbs down then? First Take, a nationally televised show, which has been #1 for 14 straight years. We came to the National Association for Black Journalists in Chicago and Cleveland, back-to-back years. Of course, I got to thank ESPN for that. They're the ones that signed off on that. Specifically, now former executive Dave Roberts. It doesn't happen without him. It doesn't happen without ESPN. But you know who else it doesn't happen without? Me. Because if I'm not willing to show up, we ain't coming. But I was there. I was there not just to do the show. I also stood in the booth for over an hour doing the jobs fair. I also gave a speech. I also mentored and talked to, as I continue to do, young, aspiring black journalists, and I have done that religiously for decades.
See, the problem with Stephen A. Smith is his ego. And he believes that black people are ungrateful because I went into the belly of the beast around them W folks. And I took all the blows and did all this. And I brought the show to a bunch of journalists, a syndicated show. A national show that's on TV, excuse me. National show that's on TV, right? Scratch that from that other part from the record. That's on TV. I gave you guys jobs. I did this. So he believes that because he's Stephen A. Smith, he's the one sitting in that chair, right? He's giving black people opportunities that he can say and do whatever he want to do and can't nobody check him. That's his problem. He believes that he can say and do whatever he want to do and you can't say nothing to him. Nah, I'm glad that they gave him this award. And they should keep piling on him. Because the thing is, you have also, just because you was able to provide jobs that the W man gave you because you kissing up to them, don't mean that you don't have a responsibility to your people. We saw what you said about Carmelo Anthony and scores of other black boys. We already saw, we disagree with that. So now he's upset, Nick Rose-plaining, and he can't believe that the black journalists would do this to him.
Saturday night, I saw the president of the organization, Aaron Haynes, go up on stage and give me a thumbs down award for disparaging black women. I received a lot of insults in my day. That might be the lowest. Tell me what it has to do with journalism. Disparaging black women? How? I've heard people bringing up Jasmine Crockett. She was a representative in Texas, representing 766,000 people. Did I sit up there demonstratively asking, why would you curse out the president of the United States with the cameras rolling? How is that going to help you? Yes, I did. Why did I do that? Not only because she's in Texas, and I know they're a little bit different in Texas, a bit more conservative. And I didn't think that would work with her constituency down there. We also saw the issue of redistricting coming up to the forefront. And I said, you have an opportunity to be the Democratic nominee for the United States Senate, representing 31 million folks. And you getting that seat. Why? Because your education. Because of the fact that you're licensed to practice law in Texas, in Arkansas, and federally. It would have been a great, great thing. I'm like, yo, weave your way through it. Don't let this guy Tellerico win. Was I wrong? But here's the bigger question. Forget that. I apologize for even asking that question. Here's the bigger question. How is that disparaging?
So I keep telling y'all that there's a fight going on between both sides, man. And Stephen A is caught up in the middle of with his shenanigans, man. Because those people on the radical right, they're not going to ride for Stephen like that, right? Stephen thinks that he can just play both sides and then think he'll have a radical left on his side. They ain't going for it, right? The thing is, you criticize Jasmine Crockett, but you didn't criticize Trump. Trump is just as ghetto as anybody else. He says whatever he want to say out of his mouth. Trump is so very presidential, right? A lot of presidents may do the same thing Trump do, but they don't talk the way that he does. He say whatever he want to say, when he want to say it, how he want to say it. He don't care about how nobody feel, right? But if a black person do it, it becomes a problem. Shh, pull your pants up. Don't be going around talking like that around these good W folks. That's exactly how you sound, because Trump can do it. Those W's can do it, right? But Jasmine Crockett can't do it. She all of a sudden becomes a problem. Now, I didn't like some of the things, like her policies and the things that she says, I don't like, I don't agree with. But I understand when your president calls a country a crap hole, right? Nobody got a problem with it. When he says, I don't want them in my country. And he says some wild stuff, man. It's funny. But my whole thing is, you came and said a whole bunch of wild stuff, man. A whole bunch of wild stuff, dude. And it's crazy. It's crazy, right? So Jemele Hill was asked a question by Don Lemonade Lemon, right? What does she think about Stephen A. Snitch? And she said, she thanked him for providing opportunities for people, but she also said this.
Little nuance, okay?
Yeah.
Now, has Stephen A. been... have the criticisms of Stephen A. been unfair? The answer is no. I think they've been completely fair, and I think a lot of them have been valid in terms of, as I was talking about, that different energy and trying to understand where that comes from. And I think politically, people definitely have a problem with how he's used his platform and who he has platformed on his platform, and, kind of the circles that he seems to be ingratiating himself with. It leaves a little, it leaves one to raise the eyebrows and say, okay, what's really going on here? You're flirting with running for president. We know that you're friends with some interesting people, to say the least. And I don't want to be getting into business of judging people by their friend groups, but I think people can see the dynamic of what's unfolding and saying, like, who is he trying to ingratiate himself to and why? So there's that component of it, which I think those are fair observations and criticisms.
I do judge people by their film group. Their
okay.
Group. I'm just saying.
all right. I mean, I understand,
yeah.
It
says a lot about who you are.
Serial killer,
all right.
Y'all be looking at me crazy too. I got it.
Exactly.
I
got
understand.
it.
So
yeah.
I get that. And I think those are fair criticisms and observations. There are a lot of Black people who can say, Stephen A. helped me with my career. That Stephen A., he elevated me in this way. When he had his show, quite frankly, on ESPN, it is true, he created a segment strictly for Black voices on his show because there wasn't a lot of Black columnists. I was one of the Black columnists that appeared on his show. Me, Rob Parker, Gary Howard. It was very few of us. Stephen A., it is true, gave us a platform to do those things. So while I do understand that how he has done and moved and operated in certain ways has gone against the mission of NABJ, and that thumbs down award, that is what it is supposed to address. I do think the body of work should matter. And Stephen A. does not have a lengthy track record, I think, of going against the core and the root of what Black journalism is. And while I don't like a lot of the things that he has said, I also cannot absolve or cannot erase the contributions he's made, both as a Black journalist himself and also as somebody who has tried in many instances to use his position to help other Black journalists. Okay.
Completely fair. And nuance, which people don't like in this day and age. It's not like the Black journalists were calling him, the sellout or, the uncle. No, they weren't doing that.
Do. I mean, some people do.
No.
Like that's
some people do. But I'm saying NABJ was not doing that.
NABJ
Basically,
did
they
not
were saying what he's doing on the air is not good or detrimental to Black people and Black journalists. That's their opinion. They can do it. They're an organization. They are Black journalists. Okay, a Black journalist organization. However, he thinks what he's doing for the Black community you're more in line. You're saying basically what he has said before about the Black community. But I think sometimes people can be too close to it and they can't see the forest for the trees. I have been there. I'm sure you have been there. And sometimes it takes a person who is your friend, or maybe not so much your friend, to say, hey, look, what are you doing? Can you see yourself? I've had those moments with Spike. I've had those moments with Spike will say, hey, man, look, let me see. I've had those moments with DL. DL and now I are dear friends now. We toured together.
I'm glad this happened, man. Some people say this may be a wake-up call. Stephen A. Smith don't care. He got his money. Stephen A. Smith is on the verge of retirement. He's going to be rolling on his own Stephen A. Smith show soon. ESPN is coming to an end. Nobody watches that stuff, man. You can get the highlights from online. You can get the highlights from a lot of these podcasters. There's a lot of other stuff going on. Stephen A. Smith is finished as far as the ESPN. You think he cared, man? He's doing what he want to do. That's why he's starting to transition into the politics sector. And he's made a lot of money. He's over there with them W's, right? Those are the people that giving him money. His allegiance has been to them. He said he wake up every morning to find out how he can make his bosses rich. Those people that's been making him rich for the last 10, 12, 13 years, that's who his allegiance is to. That's why he talks the way that he talks. He ain't with y'all. Stephen A. Smith arrived, right? He's finally arrived. He's on the other side, man. And that's just what it is. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. If y'all made it this far in the video, Stephen A. Snitch. If y'all made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.